Hey Belmont University, I'm Matt Sinofsky.
And I'm Rocha. It's that time of year again. We're at the end of another fall semester.
That means it's time to look back at what we've covered so far this school year. Welcome back to the Vision News Network.
This year, the Belmont men's and women's soccer teams made waves in the Missouri Valley Conference.
6 of the men were tabbed to the academic all-district team. That's a new school record.
And the women pushed deep into the MVC tournament before eventually falling to Missouri State in the championship game.
We looked back at the team's performances this fall ahead of the conference playoffs.
Well, Bruins, it's finally that time in the sports season for another Bruin Report. I'm Rocha.
And I'm Matt Sinofsky.
We're here at ES Rose Park to check in with the men's and women's soccer teams on their Missouri Valley Conference play.
Kicking it off with the men's soccer team, the Bruins sit with a 1-5-1 record in the Missouri Valley Conference. That's heading into tonight's senior night matchup against Lipscomb University. Though towards the bottom of the MVC standings, the team is led by veteran head coach David Costa. His experience could help the men pull off some upsets this postseason.
A coach like that could really guide a team through long seasons and tough matchups.
Definitely. He took over after the 2018 season, the team's 10th straight losing year. After a rocky first season, he's posted 4 straight years with an overall winning record.
Now looking at the women's team, the Bruins are currently 5-4-1 in conference play and sit 4th in the standings. With Sydney Jones in the net and Reagan Ross dominating the field, the Bruins have had a lot of success this season so far.
A big part of that success is head coach Kelsey Cameron. This is Cameron's 2nd season with the Bruins, and she's already put her name in the women's soccer history books.
I love Cameron's drive to really make her team as clean and quick as possible. Even in her first season as head coach, she led the team to the MVC tournament and had 3 all-MVC players on the roster.
With the way the women have been playing so far, I think they've got a great shot at clinching a spot in the MVC championship this year. But let me ask you something, Kat. Who do you think stands out in the women's team?
Well, Matt, I think Ava Labaki's speed and accuracy makes her an important player to the Bruins' entire dynamic. She currently leads the Bruins with 5 goals and 11 points. But we can't forget about graduate goalie Sydney Jones, who's dominating the MVC with 6 shutouts and 74 saves, placing her 3rd in MVC standings.
Well, as they say, defense wins championships, and Jones is certainly setting the women up for success.
Okay, Matt, let me ask you the same question. Who on the men's team do you think is a standout player?
Well, they got bright spots on offense and defense. Senior midfielder AJ Chastanet leads the scoring attack for the Bruins. He surpasses all of his team with 5 goals and 12 total points so far this year, which puts him at 9th in the MVC in both categories. That's helped him become one of the program's winningest players alongside fellow senior Eric Stiles.
Chastanet won MVC Offensive Player of the Week back in September, while graduate goalie Grant Culver was named MVC Defensive Player of the Week on Tuesday. Culver has 4 clean sheets this season and helped the men capture their first win of the year and first road win in over a year earlier this month.
Yeah, he had 4 saves and shut out the University of Illinois Chicago for the first time this season. A gritty game for sure.
And with the women's team finished with their conference play, what do you think the men's team needs to do in order to clinch a spot in the MVC championship?
Well, the men's team has one last conference game that's away against the University of Evansville. The men have really struggled on the road these past 2 seasons and will have to be prepared for a tough game. Luckily, they'll have some practice tonight. The Battle of the Boulevard matchup is a non-conference game, but it gets fiery. If the team can lock in against Lipscomb, they'll be more than ready for Evansville.
I think the Bruins have a tight window to get the team locked in and ready for the championships. With that final MVC game against Evansville next week, the Bruins need to focus on their strengths and work on their dynamic as a team.
Well, they've got the talent, they just need to bring it all together.
Well, that's going to be all from us.
We wish both teams the best of luck in the MVC championships. And who knows, maybe the Bruins can bring home the championship title. For VNN, I'm Matt Sinofsky.
And I'm Rocha. Until next time. Those Bruins work hard on the field.
They sure do. But our Bruins also work hard at home. Kicking off a new series titled From the Dorm, we checked out one of Belmont's own singer-songwriters.
From her dorm, Riley Teresa walked us through what makes her songs meaningful and even gave us a special acoustic edition of her song, The Understudy.
Hi, my name is Riley Teresa. I am a sophomore songwriting major with an education and music business minor. I'm someone who grew up in a lot of very codependent friendships with people, and I was kind of finding myself feeling like I'm playing like their backup until they find like someone else and feeling like the understudy. So I decided to write a song about it, and it's called The Understudy. The songwriting program at Belmont has helped me like really understand what it means to write a song and to write one well. The songwriting program has really helped me figure out how to shape my music and also make it accessible to everyone. So I'll write things that have happened to me in hopes that it'll relate to other people, and I'll also make sure that it's written in a way that can be relatable to all different types of people. Putting out this song is like really personal and meaningful to me. This is like the best song I feel like I've ever written, and I'm like super proud of it. And I also feel like it's the most vulnerable song that I've ever written, so I'm very excited to be able to release it and share my side of myself with the world. The understudy comes out on November 22nd.
Years old, laying in my room, I'm crying about a guy I never really knew. It's 3 a.m., laughing on the floor, praying, calling him again. I think I was just bored. I tell him I like him, and then I run away. I'm just so scared of being loved in that way. I wanna find codependence that's endless, not mutually unspoken when we both need the attention. I wanna find someone who really truly sees me, so I'm not playing the role of the understudy. 30 years old, buying a house, it's what we said we'd do. There is no one else. I'm scared of commitment, I'm scared of being sure. So I'll push it down and hope I find a cure. I wanna find codependence that's endless, not mutually unspoken when we both need the attention. I wanna find someone who really truly sees me, so I'm not playing the role of the understudy. What if I'm lying to myself? What if I never truly felt it? What if I tell the whole world and then I come back feeling helpless? What if there is no one else who understands the way I am? What if I'm incapable of being more than someone's friend? I wanna find codependence that's endless, not mutually unspoken when we both need the attention. I wanna find someone who really truly sees me, so I'm not playing the role of the understudy.
Music is all around campus. If you've been here for even 5 minutes, you sure know that.
And a key place students like to perform is the Birdcage, a feature of campus with a long history of music performance.
The gazebo itself used to serve as an actual birdcage for the owners of the Belmont Mansion. Now it's a melting pot of musical genres and a gathering ground for musicians.
Hi, my name is Brock Kiesenslaw, and I am here at the Birdcage to show how it's brought people of all backgrounds closer together. The Birdcage is a well-known spot at Belmont. It has become a place for musicians, music lovers, or just friendly people to connect through the many genres of music that are present here at Belmont. Many people even form their present-day bands through spontaneously playing together one night in this very spot. Now, we have two notoriously well-known Birdcage performers who are both members of the band Sleep Naked. They both attribute the Birdcage to making their Welcome Week experience more welcoming and expand on all the qualities that make the Birdcage, and despite the controversy that surrounds it, why they still love it.
first night, because it was at least 30 people in the birdcage, at least 7 different guitars, and we all played Something in the Orange by Zach Bryan. And obviously I've heard that song before, but hearing 20 people sing it was pretty cool, and especially the way the sound resonates in there. And then eventually like a fiddle player came in, and there was harmonica, and then 2 saxophonists came in, and it just became this insane 12-person jam, and it was a beautiful memory.
I think early on we did like a little thing there, and they mentioned that this is the birdcage, like people just set up like their instruments and just play here, music here.
It definitely improved my welcoming experience, because one of the things I was worried about coming to Belmont was finding the right people to play music with. You know, I was also worried about friends too, and both of those problems were solved by the birdcage.
Coming from a smaller town, like talented people, you had to know where to go. And here, it's like there's an abundance. And it was definitely a great way to be like, this is what we're about on campus.
When all's said and done, whenever you're craving the magic of live music, it's only a couple steps away at Belmont. Walk on down to the birdcage to get the full freshman experience. For VNN, Brock Kiesenslaw.
What a great part of Belmont's campus. It creates a safe space for musicians to be able to practice, showcase, and share their music with others.
For sure, but students need to get off campus too. Transportation around Nashville was a hot topic this semester.
It certainly was, and it all came to a head on Election Day when Nashville voters approved a plan to improve local infrastructure.
We checked in with Belmont students to see how they get around the city and what the new plan means for them.
30 minutes on a slower day, 20 minutes on a good day if I'm rushing. Sometimes if I'm running, I can make it in 15, but I hate doing that. Most days I walk. If I'm running late, sometimes I can Uber, but that is very rare. That's like maybe once or twice a month.
Well, I'll usually walk. It's about a 5-minute walk to campus. And my class is usually in the afternoon, so I'll walk home from there as long as it's daylight. I drive at night because Nashville is just so, like, unpredictable. And Belmont is like a safe little bubble, but I don't know, there's something about being so close to downtown that makes me uneasy.
I mean, obviously, if you live close enough to campus to walk, that's an awesome way to get around Nashville. Traffic in Nashville is terrible, we all know that. It's not getting any better. But we do always try to stress safety. Don't walk in areas that are unlit or not well traveled. Always try to travel in groups if possible.
I want to use the bus more often, but there are days where I'm just like, well, I see no reason to, because I feel like either I'll be late to class because of traffic, or I'm just worried about like finding a place for my car to park, because at the moment there's no bus that goes all the way directly to my house. I live in Antioch, so it's about a 20-25 minute drive, but with like traffic obviously it becomes more like 40-45, but that's just Nashville traffic for you, you know.
I mean, when I first got here, I looked at it and the system wasn't as good as it is now.
To be honest, I don't know how the bus system here works.
At some point, I just got used to walking and I kept walking, you know.
Nashville's mass transit system is decent. With any city that you go to, when you get on public transportation and mass transit in particular, you just need to follow the same rules as you would walking. Stay in groups, stay where it's well populated. And just be aware of your surroundings.
At the bus, I think everyone has this like collective understanding, like, hey, we're all in this together, so like we're not gonna bother each other. And if there was like some like mischief going on, like the bus driver would literally like throw them out and be like, do not ride with me ever again. That literally happened one time.
I think this new bill will make it a lot easier for Belmont students to get around Nashville, including downtown.
Speaking of heading downtown, we checked out some of Broadway's spookiest sites.
Nashville is home to plenty of ghost tours, so VNN's Cadence Moore and Braden Simmons found one that's close to campus and checked it out.
Hello, Bruins!
Or should we say Booins, since it's almost the witching hour.
Or as everyone who's normal knows it, Halloween.
We're here in downtown Nashville checking out some of the spookiest spots the city has to offer, like the supposedly haunted Presbyterian church right behind us.
This tour is one of the many offered around Music City, but it's the closest for most Bruins. It showcases the history of downtown Nashville and some of the most haunting tales passed down through time.
It's within walking distance from Belmont, or for our more spectral guests, floating distance. We walked along with our ghostly guide Joseph to see if we could capture some haunting footage of those who are forever cursed to boo, scoot, and boogie, from the Ryman Auditorium down to the Tennessee State Capitol. The allure with any good Halloween tour is a mix of haunting tales, charismatic hosts, and just the faintest chill in the air. Tours like the Nashville Ghost Tour offer the chance for guests to walk the same steps and streets that their stories took place.
I'm doing a lot of more direct historical research of what was the city in earlier eras, what was here before, how did it grow. The ghosts give it kind of a narrative framework, something to draw people in, to get them excited.
Ghost tours can take you anywhere, from a haunted forest to the lively night scene of Broadway. Joseph Knight takes his guests from areas ranging from Printer's Alley to outside the Ryman.
At the Ryman, I tell the story of Captain Ryman disapproving of secular entertainment in his church that he built. And he makes kind of a fuss, or pitches a fit, makes some noise if something's going on he doesn't approve of. And I was giving a tour to a local musician, and I told him about Captain Ryman and the noise making, and he had this revelation because he had a similar experience when he had played at the Ryman about 15 years before. And when I told him this, he said he never gave another thought to this experience he had, and when I told him, he got completely freaked out.
The research behind these stories and others is what bridges these tales of harrowing hauntings to history. Knight shared stories of tortured love affairs, dreadful workplace environments, and chilling personal anecdotes he's collected from fellow tour guests.
But I really do like the history and background. It gives a lot of context, and I think there's a lot of good stories there they can mine. I'm not always unearthing new stories, but when I was learning this particular tour that I read, it didn't make a whole lot of sense, a lot of it, and so I did my research to sort of put together a plausible story that I thought would be engaging. And it filled in some details here that I would spread around to the other guides. And then, like I say, they keep kind of building on themselves. Like I said, during the tour, there's a couple other particular anecdotes I picked up from other people. And it just kind of builds and grows. And the more I tell them, the more it fits. I think it gets more and more comfortable on it.
Missy Leveri, a fellow guide, took the tour as a guest with her son so that he could learn more about the world beyond.
Out here, for example, the hauntings, I like to get the facts. Okay, I'll look up the police reports. So, if they are available, and that kind of helps give me more of an idea and kind of feel them a little bit more. And so whenever I tell stories, I can give them more details about that person and make that personal connection that I feel like without the research, you're just like, yeah, there's this guy, he came here from wherever. But if you're like, give them that this is where he was at in his life and this was his likes and he did this and that, it definitely builds that personal connection with them.
The Nashville Ghost Tour, along with several other tours, will be offered for the rest of the spooky season for any Bruins brave enough to make the trek.
My favorite part about giving the tours is, oh my gosh, meeting the people. Like, I think it's so amazing. Just getting to talk to everybody, where they're from. Like, I've met so many good people and make connections that you wouldn't even think. Like, yeah, we talk about ghosts, but we also get to know, like, what brought them to Nashville and why they like paranormal tours.
Well, Bruins, I hope we didn't spook you too much.
Though we probably did. Come on, do the voice, please, come on.
For BNN, I'm Cadence Moore.
And I'm Braden Simmons. Until we see you next time, unless we don't.
I am sufficiently spooked.
About the ghost tours?
No, about the end of the semester.
Don't worry, we'll be back in the new year bringing you more news around campus.
Well, that's going to be all from us. To find out more about this semester's stories, check out the Vision website. For VNN, I'm Matt Sinofsky.
And I'm Kat Rocha. Until next time.